Every day is a year, isn't it? I can't with anything anymore. Guest co-host, comedian Alicia Molina, who we both were a part of the Latina Comedy Festival, which was fantastic. Did you have fun?
Oh my God, it was so nice. What a sisterhood we have. Like, to see the repeats that come back out of state, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So, I mean,
it was
obviously,
lovely.
Yeah, obviously we all see each other here every so often,
right?
But
well, I was talking to another comedian because I don't know if you were in the room when I kind of broke into politics for a few minutes, and then like things got weird. And I was, by the way, I maybe was an old fashioned into this. Like I had a cocktail, but I was talking about like I was trying to make the comparison of like how we have to keep, fighting just for the crumbs of dignity. Mm-hmm. And I made the comparison of like how we recycle, and we're like, oh, to make sure the paper and the plastic, and like if the billionaires, the corporations would just make materials which are possible that aren't, if they didn't package it in a way where we have to do all the work, we're always doing all the work to their benefit.
It's always, we're the rock bottom.
Yeah. But anyway, the energy shifted, and I found out from another comedian that there was a comedian from another state who is perhaps MAGA. Yes. And so I was
from Texas.
I wasn't given any names, and yes, possibly that. But what I thought? I was like, you know what though? They're surrounded by people who talk about MAGA crap all day long. I'm not going to not here. We're under siege. You have come to what Trump is calling a war zone that he created.
Every time I hear, I have, it's not a friend, it's an acquaintance, speak of because he's MAGA, and he lives in Oregon. So you would think he'd be more, well, he came from Florida, so maybe that's why the mentality stayed. But he was like, that's why Chicago's a third world country. And I'm like, what have you even been here? Like,
third world country? I mean,
no. Have you seen my pictures? Like, it's far from.
Yeah, and look, we have areas that have been disenfranchised, and I talk about this in my show on Friday. There are communities where we have selectively, for over 100 years, marginalized. We have not invested in, and you can see it when you drive down the highway. Right? Yeah. There are places that businesses that didn't want to go into for decades, and there's no quick fix to that. But we were and have been on the path to violence interrupters, to social programs, after school programs. I mean, when you were growing up, did you have I had Girl Scouts, I had baseball. There was always something for me to do.
I did have Girl Scouts. I did do that.
Something, right? Programs.
But we did have programs. My parents always kept us busy, whether it was state camp, even in the summer. I love the fact that we had those options, and the fact that I was able to give that to my children.
Right.
So, I don't see why they think it's okay to take that away or make it difficult.
Yes.
And the big thing right now is even healthcare. Like, I remember giving birth to my children, and my insurance was that good at that time. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they're older now. But I didn't have like a large bill after that. I feel bad for those that are giving birth now.
I know. And with all the costs.
You bring a baby home, you got a huge bill to pay, and you're already in debt. And it's not easy. And that's with insurance.
Right. So you and I, full disclosure, folks, Alicia Molina and I had a very surreal moment 2 weeks ago. When Dwayne Kennedy was filling in for me while I was traveling, Dwayne was like, hey, who do you have, anybody you think would be great to hang out with me? And I was like, oh, Alicia Molina would be fired up for this.
Yeah.
So I messaged Alicia, and I just said, can you come and hang out with Dwayne? I didn't say
Yeah.
Because it just seems weird to go, I'm in Paris. Yeah. But you're like, I'm in Paris, which was amazing.
She's like, you're lying. And then she takes a picture of herself in front of Notre Dame. And I was like, oh, you're here.
And you were at the Eiffel Tower.
I was at the Eiffel Tower at the time.
Oh, my God.
And then we did end up at the Louvre at the same time, by the way. We were there. We were together.
So
we were so close,
hard.
But so far away. I don't know how to explain it.
How did you like the Louvre?
Oh, I loved it.
I
loved it, but it's a lot of walking. It's a lot to absorb in. And, I could have been there all day. But my mother, I went with my mother. And, her old knees were getting to her.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I give her credit because she was trying not to complain. Because I'm over here like, oh, my God, look at what I learned in college. Oh, my God, you know what I mean? And she's just like, okay, but I'm tired. Like, you're making me climb more stairs,
Yeah, it's a lot. And the stairs, I mean, they're so... It was hard. It was challenging with a wheelchair too.
And yeah, I can imagine. And imagine with, an older lady that I'm trying to like push her through to see the Mona Lisa, because you have to push through to the front.
Yeah, I know.
It was crowded. You were there same day I was.
That's so crazy. It wasn't. And here's the thing.
She couldn't believe it. I
don't even think it was that crowded. I bet you that was like a light day.
Yeah,
for them.
I bet you too, because I've been there when it was worse, many years ago. But that was when it was in a different room, and now it's by itself, which I actually appreciate. And no, but my mother was just like, she was just in shock because I didn't explain to her how it looked. So she just went, it's so small. All these people are here for this really small picture. She goes, why did I think it was huge?
Well, yeah, I think in our imaginations and sort of the mythology of it, plus it's in movies.
Yeah.
And so I told Alicia this story. I haven't told this story to the audience yet because it happened to us twice where because, Declan's in the wheelchair at Notre Dame, they dropped the rope and gave us access to a lift to get us to the back of the church. And it was so surreal to be inside where nobody else, no crowds could go. Mm. And we were trying to get to, the elevators were not matched up for like one room to the next. So there was one room under construction, which should have been access for us. So we had to go all the way back around through the Mona Lisa room. And Steve had pre-worked himself up to have outrage about Mona Lisa. I can't explain it. Like, he had disdain for how much other people love, like how much other tremendous artwork there is in the museum.
And they're focused on that one.
And everyone's got to be there. So we're trying to get through the room to get to the elevator, and we're going by, and there's one of the guys working at the museum sees Declan, waves at us, drops the rope, and is giving us access to the very front of the room in front of Mona Lisa. And my husband said, "Yeah, we don't need to." And
I can't believe he gave up that opportunity. That's how mad he was.
Not even give up. He was like, I hate that. Like, I was just like, what? And here's the thing, like people have made jokes about like, but you went, right? And I'm like, we were on a mission. We were also catching a flight, and I was trying to catch you.
Yeah.
And it was just, I was like, yeah, I guess we're just going. We're not going to see the Mona Lisa. It was so weird, but I have to say it's very hard to get around with a wheelchair. But how great was it? How did you like the Eiffel Tower?
Oh my gosh. So that was another, like, I've been there before. So this is the second time for me. And this time it was with my mom, who's never been.
Right.
So I think I enjoyed it more like a little girl, to see her face of excitement.
Yeah.
And, and she was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Oh my gosh, this is so huge. I don't know. She thought it was smaller. I could see that. She saw it at Las Vegas. So she thought...
She had a keychain of it. She thought it was going to be small.
She's like, it's not going to be a big deal. I'm like, mother, wait till you.
Did you go to the top? Because we just went to the first observation level.
We went. I took her all the way to the top. Yeah,
that's amazing.
And she was kind of scared at first.
Yeah,
but then
it's rickety.
Yeah, but then she realized it was not that big of, it was not bad. So I was like, Mom, I wouldn't put you up there if it was dangerous or give you a heart attack or anything. So
now I know I ran into quite a few people. You also went on to Barcelona. What was your experience? I mean, because you can speak Spanish.
Yes.
So it's not necessarily you're not. I am often identified as an annoying American.
Yeah.
I didn't have. I heard someone say this the other day. What was weird this time? I've been to Europe before and sort of had interactions that were unpleasant because of my American. I'm loud.
Yeah.
But this time, the pity was surreal.
Yes. So I made it. I made sure my mom and I spoke mostly Spanish when we got there. Right. Because our reputation is not the best right now. MAGA thinks
we're like,
otherwise.
Mira, los americanos son estúpidos.
I know, right? Exactly. I'm like, MAGA doesn't know. They see otherwise, but I don't. It's that syndrome, like you must have never been told by your mom that you're ugly. That kind of syndrome. That's what MAGA has right now.
Yeah.
So so I told my mom, let's just speak Spanish. But obviously, like there are some words that we don't know, and also if we're in Paris, it's
right. I tried using Spanish in Paris to no avail. Zero.
Yeah.
Nobody spoke Spanish.
Right. They spoke more English than Spanish out there, so I had no choice. And, but I was like, but I'm one of the good guys, I swear.
Yeah. I said that several times.
Yeah, me too.
Repeatedly.
And they would laugh and they were like, yeah, we understand what's going on. They're like, not everybody is like that. We know that. I'm like, oh, thank God. I was like,
I think the videos of protests help probably.
Yeah, that, and also they can tell. I'm sorry, you could tell.
That we're scared.
Well, you could tell who's MAGA too. You come out acting very entitled, that's like a given.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
if you
so-
say pardon me and thank you,
Yeah, exactly.
Merci.
Yeah, it's
I
fine.
tried.
Yeah, so it's. I had a very good experience.
Yeah.
So
And I've never been to Spain.
Barcelona's the best. That was my first time there.
Yeah.
So
They,
that was.
they speak with the accent like
Yeah.
this. El ayuntamiento.
I love it.
So we've talked about I have mentioned on the air that in my parts of my heart I wonder if I need to go sometimes.
You do.
To leave the country.
Oh, that too. So I was doing that while I was out there kind of researching and seeing what I would like. And let me tell you, I would live in Barcelona. Barcelona. Okay.
Because here's the thing, for whatever reason, our ancestors came. I know my mom came here because opportunities for
Yes.
women were better. She was divorced with 3 kids. My dad's, my great grandparents came from Ireland because of the famine, the poverty, looking for work. And so people leave their country when they are oppressed. And a lot of us are in a situation where, how much trauma are you expected to take? And then people are like, well, I want to stay and fight. I have a friend who was at my show on Friday, and she works with patients who are from immigrant communities. And she's like, I'm going to stay and fight for my patients. That's Dr. Kathy Tynas, by the way, a regular guest co-host.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm going to fight for my patients, who some of whom are undocumented. They provide care regardless of status because they have a foundation. So then I was like, fine.
Yeah, I know. I'm torn too, believe it or not. I was like, I want to fight because I love our country. I grew up
Me
here. I
too.
was born and raised here. I've traveled everywhere still. I had the opportunities that were given to me. And I'm really grateful for that. And obviously, it was the same reason. My mom came from Peru. She didn't have a life there. She was a cleaning lady. She had a sister who had polio.
Oh.
So she had to help her get surgery to put like a metal rod in her leg because she was not walking.
Right.
So, like I was trying to explain to people, it's like they don't come here because they have nothing better to do.
Right.
People come here for a reason and for good reasons, not to be criminals.
No.
Don't get me wrong. There's a criminal here and there. There's a lot more criminals are domestic.
There's more white men that commit crimes
they're
in this
committing
country
way more.
than immigrants.
And that's getting ignored.
I know.
But they're focusing on the one criminal that did a crime. And I'm like, you're focusing on the wrong group.
They tossed an entire building, 5-story apartment building, zip-tied children, put them in a U-Haul.
In the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night. Because
Imagine your child getting pulled out of bed, zip-tied, naked almost. You know what I mean? And being thrown outside. Think of that, but you don't think that way. And that's what I was trying to explain to MAGA. It doesn't touch them, so it doesn't care. And no, think that way. You have to put yourself in their shoes.
Well, and it's coming for them. This is something that a lot of... well, let's take a break here. We're hanging out with Alicia Molina. Do you have a show coming up, Alicia?
I do this weekend.
Where are you at?
Comedy Plex.
Oh, I love the Comedy Plex.
Yeah.
That's such a great venue.
Yeah, I'm there Friday and Saturday. So
Excellent.
all 3 shows.
Go to Comedy Plex website. We'll get the information. Is it comedyplex.com?
Yes.
I'm a huge fan of the Comedy Plex.
Yeah.
And the Lincoln Lodge, which we performed at this weekend. Check out both venues.
Both places are amazing spaces.
Yeah, you'll find great community and have a good time. Let's take a break here. We'll thank our sponsors first. Thank you to Pride Coffee Roasters. This segment has been sponsored by Pride Coffee Roasters. Go to pridecoffeeroasters.com. They have amazing single origin beans that are roasted fresh. You have the date they were roasted on right on the bag. You can order a bean subscription, maybe get some gay swag. Just saying, it's good stuff. And you can go to pridecoffeeroasters.com, where you can also type in Drive Home 10 for 10% off your entire order. Thank you to Minocqua Brewing Company. I wrote a piece today, Don't Give Up. Kind of a piece. It's too many things. It's too many things. It's too many. Anyway, MinocquaBrewingCompany.com is a flagship sponsor of this show, and we appreciate their support. And I'm really grateful to have a platform to write my columns every single Monday. Really appreciate your support as well and kind words. So thank you for that. I also want to thank our friends at Source.Solar. Go to Source.Solar, Source Solar, and make an appointment with Peter Sorellis. They have worked out the finances to figure out how to make sure, even though the incentives will expire at the end of the year, he'll walk you through the process and make sure you still get your biggest bang for your buck and get those solar panels on your house. Better for the environment and more so better for your pocket. More after this on WCPT 820 and KKNW 1150.
Amy Goodman reports on the news stories rarely covered by the corporate media. Democracy Now!
The UN's Humanitarian Affairs Office warned Palestinian children are at high risk of injury or death from unexploded ordnance left after more than 13 months of Israeli attacks. 8-year-old Mohammed Karmash, this is his mother.
No one was there to tell him that these are explosives that the Israelis throw.
Democracy Now! Weekday evenings at 10 on WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk.
This is WCPT telling you how you can shop blue. Donald Trump has implemented a barbaric anti-immigration policy with mass deportations and having ICE agents showing up unannounced at people's homes, workplaces, and anywhere they suspect, separating families, ruining lives, and deporting people without any due process. But one company is taking a stand against Donald Trump. Greyhound Bus Lines has implemented a no warrant, no boarding policy. This prohibits ICE agents to enter the vehicle without a warrant. Greyhound Bus says they want to guarantee the rights and civil liberties of their passengers. Greyhound Bus is the largest inner-city bus system in the U.S., with over 1,600 destinations. Maybe this will lead to more companies stepping up like Greyhound is. This has been WCPT telling you how you can shop blue.
You're listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or Pete.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue to drive it home. Paul, can I trouble you we'll take the phones. I know that folks probably have a lot of things in their mind. We're in studio with comedian Alicia Molina. We were both part of the Latina Comedy Festival this weekend. So I performed on Friday, and then Saturday I was going to go down early. I was going to go to like the workshops and things that they were hosting at the Lincoln Lodge. But I saw videos of what was coming out of Logan Square. Now I feel like I'm on this weird delay. Like the things that are happening, like even the apartment building, on South Lakeshore Drive. Like I feel like it was a day delay before we all started getting a little bit more of what had happened. 300 agents descended upon that building. Right. The Logan Square. There was a motorist, apparently a guy on a scooter or something, wouldn't move. Right, I think that's what happened.
And they tear gassed him
multiple.
But I was watching the video. He stayed for a minute.
Well, they get out and they started beating the crap out of him too.
Yeah, then they started beating him and they started hitting his bike too.
Yes,
and he at that point had to move. But
not only that, but the chemicals. So it was Rico grocery store, right? Yeah. There was and then there's a grade school nearby, and one teacher was out on lunch. There were kids on the playground, and she saw that the chemicals had been dispersed. She got all the kids in. They had to stay in the building for the rest of the day.
Yeah,
and they're without any regard. These folks don't have any training for this type of action in our communities.
I'm telling you. Those are the ones that were pardoned from Giant 6. I swear. There's no the behavior I'm seeing, like the aggression, the anger, and everything just kind of matches. I mean, if you see that,
there was one guy with a tattoo yelling at somebody. He was, someone was filming it, and he came over to be aggressive with them, and he had a white supremacy tattoo on his neck. Yeah, they're trying. There's a lot of people. And this is where it's getting weird, and I guess I don't know if interesting is the right word. It's getting dangerous for both. And I don't. Here's the thing. I know this sounds crazy, folks. I don't want the agents to be put in danger either.
That's not crazy. We're not here. We're not here to cause that. They're trying to get us that mad.
Yes,
it's okay to be mad, but we can't get violent.
No, don't take the bait.
But I feel that's what they're doing. They're totally rage baiting. They're really trying.
I don't want anyone to be provoked. I don't want anyone, the agents who. So the other thing is, I was talking to a former U.S. Marshal.
Yeah.
And he was saying that like some of these guys are being called up from retirement and being paid full salary that they left on plus their pension. So we're talking like they could be a top salary of $191,000 a year plus what your pension is. So we're talking over $200,000. So I was like, well, yeah, I guess that's a lot to sell your soul. Plus, if you're getting $50,000 bonuses for hitting a quota,
or to start. Also, they're paying them to get on board. Yes. I see that the money is happening or whatever, but my thing is like you're risking your life, your soul.
Their soul.
You know
the soul, absolutely.
You're hurting many people. Is it worth it? And that's what kills me is that they're complaining about tax dollars going to help the poor and help the people that need it the most, disabilities and everything. Okay, but they're okay with paying taxes to do this?
$250,000 for some of these guys?
They have the money, obviously. If the money was there, why wasn't it being used to help us? Or not me necessarily, but
people in our communities, working families.
I have a brother with a disability and he can't get any help. You know what I mean? So we're trying to get help for him. We just want him to get health care. Even that, we'll pay for everything else. And when that's the family contributing, not just
right.
So but not everybody can do that. So I don't understand why they just can't do that. I just don't get it. It just makes me sick. So yes, I do get mad.
Yeah, I get mad. The violence is more palpable than helping somebody.
Yeah.
She actually said if somebody is in a hospital that doesn't have care, that you should let them die. This is where MAGA is going.
It's unbelievable.
This is, and I heard someone over the weekend on one of the other, an evening show here, Selena Stewart, I believe, with the League of Women Voters. She said this is not right versus left. This is not Democrats versus Republicans. This is light versus darkness.
Yeah. I agree.
And when you have 300 agents ascending upon an apartment building, that's darkness.
It is.
And then when you hear the people that live in that building, the neighbors of the Venezuelans who are talking about how we would use Google app translator to talk to each other and their families, that's light. Okay. Hey, Jim, you're on me and Alicia Molina. How are you doing?
Hi, Jim.
Yeah, hi, how are you? To me, it's like the first time that one political party has declared war on the other party. I feel like this war is going to go on for some time. Kristi Noem is making fictional statements every day, insane statements every day. And it's all Democratic cities, and it's a war against the Democrats. In fact, the administration yesterday said, we've got to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. That's an abomination. Yeah. We should get rid of the Affordable Care Act immediately because we'll give you our beautiful Republican plan of insurance. Now, I've been around for 75 years, and please believe me, I've never seen a Republican offer a health plan in my entire existence, and I don't think I ever will. But the point is, I know what their plan is. Their plan is to take every nickel and dime from every sick and dying person so they can give their buddies in the insurance industry as much money as they possibly can and buy as much stock as they can and as much real estate as they can. And this is their plan. I mean, this is their plan. It's obvious. Well, then, Patti and your guest, think of it. Remember the Biden crime family in the QAnon series where they were, Hunter Biden's laptop, Hunter Biden's laptop.
Yeah,
remember that? How crazy they went over that? Well, now think of this. The Trump family, the two kids, whatever, they've already got about $3 billion in crypto money. The guy who's doing this deal in this insane deal with the Palestinians, he's another billionaire real estate guy who's somehow his son got $2 billion out of the Saudis, and they're selling TikTok to Larry Ellison and the Saudis. So I mean, this is all about capital. I mean, capitalists run amok. I mean, it's run amok. And what they're saying is the Democrats and all their policies over the years, as long as our history of 220 years of a party, all the legislation that we pushed through is all against the America. To make America great, to make America great, you've got to become a Republican.
Yep.
And you've got to believe this nonsense. Anyway, guys.
Thanks, Jim.
Have a good night. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Appreciate it. That's Jim calling in on the Credo Mobile phone and text line 773-763-9278. Credo Mobile, better for the planet and for people. And go to credomobile.com. There is a 25% discount off if you do WCPT 25. And a listener just texted in. I know that our signal goes down for folks as the sun goes down, so you can get WCPT 820 for free on onlineradiobox.com/US/WCPT. We'll continue our conversation with Alicia Molina, comedian who is going to be at Comedy Plex this weekend, Friday and Saturday. And we're going to be joined by Congressman Jesse Jackson in just a moment. We'll continue taking your phone calls in just a little bit, but Congressman Jesse Jackson joins us after this on WCPT and KKNW 1150.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Scattered showers and storms developing tonight with a low temperature around 61 degrees and northwest winds at 5 to 15. Tuesday, showers and thunderstorms with a high of 65 and winds out of the northeast at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Wednesday, lots of sunshine and a high of 62. Thursday, sunny, highs again in the low 60s. Friday, sunny with high temperatures in the upper 60s. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 84.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter. Stephanie Miller.
It's another true Stephanie Miller Show story, Chris LeBoy. Yeah, from Jane in St. Charles, Illinois. It's real. Stephanie Miller fans are everywhere. We're meeting in parking lots. It happened just yesterday. I got to my car after leaving the grocery store. There was a woman loading her groceries in the car. She had a radio on to WCPT 820 Progressive Radio. I couldn't resist. I said, I think we would qualify to say that we listen to the Stephanie Miller Show. We both laughed and said, yes, we would. I love it.
Stephanie Miller, weekday mornings 8 to 11 on WCPT 820.
This is a WCPT 820 Heartland Signal News Minute.
I have a lot of thoughts to share as the only female veteran in the General Assembly.
That's Illinois State Representative Stephanie Kifowit speaking to WCPT's Patti Vasquez one day after Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth addressed and repeatedly dressed down almost 800 generals, admirals, and their senior enlisted leaders in Quantico, Virginia.
There's so much to unpack on just the audacity and ridiculousness. It's insulting to all the high-ranking officers that were there. It's insulting to women. I mean, they do the pull-ups right next to the guys. They do the training right next to the guys. They hold their own. And for this individual to be so derogatory and disrespectful to the women that are serving in our armed forces today, it's of a caliber of words I cannot say on radio.
For WCPT 820 and Heartland Signal, I'm Andy Miles.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
Hi, this is Patti Vasquez. We appreciate all our fans of Driving It Home, and your support of show sponsor Minocqua Brewing Company ensures that our important conversations continue right here on WCPT each weekday from 5 to 7 p.m. You can now find the Resistance IPA, Labor Lager, or the Resistance Pilsner beer at several Illinois locations, including Arminetti Wine and Spirits in Woodstock, Pineapple and Company in North Riverside, Lyons Beverage Depot in Arlington Heights, and MP's Liquor, Wine and Beer in North Aurora. For a full list of Chicagoland locations, please visit MinocquaBrewingCompany.com. As always, please vote and drink responsibly.
Welcome back to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us for this drive home. Joining me in studio is guest co-host Alicia Molina. She's a wonderful stand-up comedian, one of the Chicago's best comics. She'll be at the Comedy Plex this weekend, Friday and Saturday. And joining us is one of Chicago's top leaders. We had on the line with us the congressman for the 1st Congressional District, Jesse Jackson, joins us. Hi, sir. I stopped asking people how they're doing, so let me ask you this. Are you staying hydrated, my friend?
Yeah. Good question.
Okay, this is Congressman Jonathan Jackson.
Oh, Jonathan Jackson. That's what I said. I've heard it both ways. You know what I mean? I apologize. That was horrible. Jonathan Jackson, my brain fried there for a second. I apologize to you and your family. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
No.
I looked right at it.
Having me.
Stop. I looked down at it and got it wrong anyway. Well, thank you. Congressman Jonathan Jackson joins us right now. Hi, sir. How are you doing?
Hi, sir.
I'm doing excellent. Great to hear your voice.
Good to hear yours as well. I know that this has to be incredibly challenging. Okay, let's start with this. You guys are once again not going to be called to the floor. You have a whole nother week off. And a lot of people have speculations as to why that's happening. But what are you doing in the meantime to make sure your constituents are aware of what's happening in their communities?
That's a good question.
Well, we first have to submit a list to the Speaker's office. They ask us to go down to essential employees. I've labeled all of my employees as essential. Unfortunately, the interns cannot continue their work. People that are gaining additional experience. We're taking the casework, the calls still showing up at the events, doing our job of supervision, of oversight, going out yesterday to the 75th and South Shore site where the ICE raid had taken place. And just a brief update, the DA has also put out on their website, well, they put out to our calls when we're sending information in that veterans have issues with, if they're not taking any more inquiries or casework at this time. So they're really grinding the system to the halt. So there are certain federal government agencies that the president has total control over that he's not providing the services. So where our office is, that's also true at the State Department. For people that have passports, there's going to be an additional delay on those services. So we're doing the work every day.
Wow. It sounds like it's overwhelming because you're doing all this work, plus you're trying to let the constituents know what's going on. Because let me tell you, there are still people out there that assume it's the Democrats stopping this.
Yes.
So that's the problem. We need to get out there and say, no, it's not them, and...
Well, if I can add to that, they're doing that for the right reason, because the president has directed his cabinet to put it on government website, which is against the Hatch Act. And I don't want to say it's a fabrication. It's an outright lie.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything as horrendous. So he is telling people, and people are getting angry with us. So he's stoking the flames to, unfortunately, he's going to get someone hurt. People are getting angry at us. They've increased our security budget because he's turning the people against us, acting as if we're the ones that are shutting down the services. It's one of the most duplicitous and dishonest things I have never imagined.
Yeah. Well, and to that, Speaker Johnson has said, so first it's that it has changed every single time, right? First it is that Democrats want to give Cadillac health care to undocumented migrants. And then it was, well, the Democrats played right into the president's trap. Now he can do whatever he wants and unleash Russell Vought from the OMB on every agency in the federal government and see what we want to cut, essentially things that don't align with our values. And then I heard him say something else today, like it's that Democrats just hate Americans, essentially.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Democrats are violent. They hate America. It's them. And honestly, if it was the other way around, the violence would have already happened. I mean, badly. Obviously, it has happened.
Yeah.
So.
I am just so shocked at the things that they're able to get away with. So, for example, on the Charlie Kirk bill, the bill about 2 weeks ago was to honor the life, memory, work, and words of Charlie Kirk. I totally disagree with his words on what he said about so many people, but I am absolutely horrified and absolutely denounce any form of violence. People can say what they want. They should have the right to speak, and no one should have their life threatened or taken because of their political speech. But to go around and say Democrats have done this, and then this bill to go on and say there was some radical left, and they had 3/4 of the bill, 7/8 of the bill was about honoring Charlie Kirk, and then 1/8 of the bill was regarding condemning political violence, and it was a gotcha bill. In the moment before the funeral and the process, if you vote against the bill, you are saying you're not condemning political violence. If you vote for the bill, you're agreeing with all the things that Charlie Kirk said. And I said, no, I'm not going to vote for the bill to agree with what Charlie Kirk said. And you have to go on and tell people that I condemn political violence, but I am not in support of Charlie Kirk. Now what's going to happen as a result for the Democrats and others that went along with voting for that, you're going to see the next step is going to be the introduction of some Charlie Kirk arcs written into school curriculum, what he means for freedom of speech, even if you totally disagree with something he said that was mean-spirited and white nationalists and supremacists. Like, no, if it was a gotcha bill, we have to stand up and take the time to tell the people. But the president is a genius at weaponizing half-truths and whole lies.
Well, how did the bill for honoring the life of Speaker Emeritus Melissa Hortman go?
Oh, what bill? I know, right?
I'm just curious, like what they and coming out against political violence in her assassination. I'm just curious about their double standard.
No,
not even double standard.
It's a total double standard. And the president has a bully pulpit, and his words, he can take the headline every day, and he is weaponizing it, and he's turning citizens on one another. And you saw and I appreciate what you're saying about his speech at the before the generals, how humiliating, how insulting. And then he goes on and now it's talking about the enemy for America is within. He's never used that sort of language with Putin or anyone.
No.
Like why does he hate Chicago? Chicago's been very good to him with his business, and it's so mean-spirited.
Yeah.
But words, those violent words precede violent action, and I would encourage everyone to call their Republican legislators and representatives and say, stop this language immediately.
Yeah, I agree completely.
And that's the thing. How do we get them to do that, especially when they're convinced on these lies?
Yeah, I will say we had a listener for the first time. Like, I will get MAGA callers who, like, they, scattershot a bunch of different things, and I got to try to and then I just roll them down because I'm not going to allow this platform to be used for lies.
Yeah,
and their version of which is just. But we did have a caller last week who said he was conservative and he doesn't agree with what the president is doing in this country, in this state, in this city with migrants. And he said, he listens to conservative radio and they blame us and we blame them. And I don't know if you are familiar with Selena Stewart from League of Women Voters. And she really took my breath away. And I don't know if we can frame it this way. I don't know if it's too touchy-feely for people, but it's not left versus right at this point. If you see and learn that children have been zip-tied and thrown into a U-Haul, and you still think that's a good thing, that's darkness. It's a battle between light versus dark. Do you have that sense? I would imagine you do, sir.
I absolutely 100% have that sense. To see a child that went by 75th and South Shore, to see the pictures of a child zip-tied in the city of Chicago that was in the room with his mother that already come from an ordeal to, get here. At no point do we have to sacrifice our humanity. This is bestiality, and there's another side of that story in Brighton Park. Is it really, do you think all these men with all these long barrel guns that are jumping around in tan militarized vehicles that were in Afghanistan and in all these other war-torn areas, do you think she really ran into somebody? That's how she got shot? Or might they have bumped into her and jumped out trigger happy?
Somebody
and
had
another
to be
thing
happy.
he's doing is
They're just waiting. They're just waiting.
And there's something else very sinister he's doing. He's convincing people in rural America that it's the Democrats in the cities that have the money, that have that don't work, that are a burden on the system, that's eating your money, taking from you and your hard work. So he's pitting the poor against the poor.
Yeah.
And when he sends these other National Guardsmen up here from Texas that have to stop their work, that are patriotic, that want to do their job, that don't know the city, that may have some preconceived notions, that may be afraid, he's putting everyone on edge. Mm-hmm. The police can do detective work, and they can also do the level of security. That's not the job of the military. They defend us from enemies. Look at the size guns they have.
And you're right. They're going to be nervous because I was just telling Patty earlier how People perceive Chicago who have never been here.
Yes.
So they already think we're a third world country or we're a war zone, right? And then on top of that, him emphasizing it constantly on national TV. So people from Texas, they're ready to fight. They're going to come here ready to fight. And for no reason.
Yeah.
Because we're okay here. We're not being violent, you know?
They got to find a reason.
Yeah. And they're going to pick any reason. And that's scary. And that's what scares me. And it's just going to take one person and it could ruin everything, you know?
Do you have that concern, Congressman Jackson, that, I mean, obviously we do. That's what we're all afraid that Chicagoans will take the bait, I guess, is part of it, too.
Absolutely. And what you need in a president is a unifier, a healer, someone that sees the good in people, that is trying to drive the better angels out of people. This man talks so dark, I'm going to clean it up. Look at how they are. They're really dangerous. They're like killing people. They're raping and robbing. I'm doing this for your safety. You've got to be a part. We're going to clean this up. They're murderers on the streets. They're just everywhere. As opposed to having a conversation with the governor and the mayor to talk about a violence prevention reduction program, to talk about how we're going to have jobs. When he starts failing the most, he starts doing the biggest distractions. The issues he should be talking about right now is, why has he failed the farmers? The farmers right now, our storage bins are full of soybean and corn. White female life expectancy in rural America is decreasing every day. Black male life expectancy in the city is decreasing every day. There are commonalities if you look at rural America and urban. We have a food shortage, a nutrition problem in the city of Chicago and most places around the country. He should be talking about stimulating. Instead, he's passed off this trillions of dollars for tax breaks and cuts while he's picked up a $400 million plane that he says was a gift to him while he's president of a country that we have an outstanding military base in, that he's going to put $1 billion of taxpayer money in. It's graft. It's unbelievable. And I hope people understand. I've tried to explain to people the magnitude of these tax cuts that he's given to the richest people. If you think of $1 trillion going towards the top 1%, if you've got 1 million seconds, that equals 11.7 days. If you got 1 billion seconds, that's 31 years. He's passed out $1 trillion, which in seconds would be 31,000 years. The order of magnitude, the country has had money. He's not willing to invest. Our farmers don't want to bail out. He locked them out of the Chinese market. When he did this in 2018 and they stopped buying, they started investing in Brazil. Now, the craziest deal they did last week with the Secretary of the Treasury, Bassett, is they just bailed out the corrupt practices in Argentina to the tune of $20 billion. Argentina dropped their tariffs with China. Argentina farmers sold their soybeans to China, and our soybeans are stuck here. And he's talking about giving our farmers a handout, bailout, welfare.
Socialism,
which they were against.
That's the first check. Oh, it's going to be 30, 40 billion more. That's the first check. From tariffs that he's already overcharged us for. He is destroying the system that America made that has been working, although it needs some improvement, but he's totally abandoning it. And the world, I've had the opportunity, I serve on foreign affairs and agriculture. The world is like shaking their head, trying to figure out what is America doing.
So are we.
He's making everybody else better, not us. He's making everybody else great.
Well, them richer. We're talking to Congressman Jonathan Jackson of the 1st Congressional District. Do you mind staying with us for another segment, sir?
Beyond.
And follow him. What are the best social medias? I know that you update folks through Twitter. Are there other platforms that you want to let people know about that you update them through as well?
Yeah, let me get to that right after the station break.
All right, let's take a break here. We'll come back with Congressman Jonathan Jackson and comedian Alicia Molina, who will be at the Comedyplex this weekend. More in a moment.
Fall is here and colder nights are on the way. Is your home ready to stay warm and energy efficient? Green Attic is Chicagoland's trusted expert in attic insulation, spray foam, crawl space encapsulation, and mold remediation, solutions that seal in comfort and cut down on high heating bills. If your upstairs feels drafty or your heating system is constantly running, your attic may be to blame. Their team helps balance temperatures and reduce energy waste from the top down. They also offer full-service roofing through Green Attic Roofing, covering asphalt shingles, flat roofs, premium roofing solutions, and solar panels. Every project comes with a 10-year labor warranty and instant online estimates to help homeowners replace aging roofs before winter sets in. With over 15 years of experience and over 1,000 five-star reviews, Green Attic delivers real comfort season after season. Visit greenattic.com for a free installation consultation or go to greenatticroofing.com for an instant roofing estimate today. WCPT will be broadcasting a live in-person Union Strong panel on Wednesday, October 15th from 3 to 5 p.m. And you're invited. Join me, Tom Harbin, and WCPT's morning host, Richard Chu, at the Ironworkers Local 63 Training Center in Broadview. Panelists include Paul Wendy from Ironworkers Local 63, Rob Fulton from Riggers Local 136, Cliff Horowitz from Horowitz & Associates, Andy Rico from IBEW Local 176, and Tom Villanova from Southland Friends of Labor. This event is proudly sponsored by Ironworkers Local 63, Riggers Local 136, Horowitz & Associates, IBEW Local 176, and Southland Friends of Labor. Wednesday, October 15th from 3 to 5 p.m., Ironworkers Local 63 Training Center, 2523 Lexington Street in Broadview. That's just off the 25th Street exit on the Eisenhower Expressway. All listeners must register to attend this free event at WCPT820.com. Just click on the banner.
Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or Pete.
From city streets to political beats, you're driving it home with Patti Vasquez, where progressive talk fuels the ride.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue to drive it home. Joining me in studio is comedian Alicia Molina. She'll be at the Comedy Plex in Oak Park this Friday and Saturday. Joining us on the line is the congressman for the 1st Congressional District, Jonathan Jackson. Jonathan Jackson, why do I keep doing that? I've got your dad on my mind.
That's name.
I know.
It just slips. It just comes out of our mouths.
It's interesting. It's so surreal sometimes talking to you because your family's legacy and I have a history degree. So like as a 18-year-old, like following the work of Reverend Jesse Jackson and Reverend Martin Luther King and everything that happened in Chicago in particular. So it is. I mean, this is Alicia and I were talking about this before the show, and that what has happened. There was a sort of the sense of with with the targeting of immigrants and Latinos during the race, like that was one of the primary things. Like we had young journalists who were in Iowa who said that people there said their two top things were was the economy and immigrants. Yeah. And even though in Iowa their minimum wage is $7.25, and Republicans have been running that state for decades, but it was this banging of the drum of the brown people coming to take your jobs and all this stuff. But a lot of this we know historically is in backlash to Lyndon Johnson's policies, to Franklin Roosevelt's policy. They've been wanting to do this, haven't they, sir? The election of President Obama broke some of their brains. I'm just saying.
I mean, they have a derangement syndrome about it, and this is really America looking forward or America looking backward. Think of it right now, in the year 2050. Which is just over 8,800 days, I believe now, which is 290 months, just 24 years and 2 months from now. Because of the population demographic shifts, Africa will be 1/4 of the world's population, 1/3 of the world's workforce. Wow. Things are changing, evolving, moving around. When President Trump on April 2nd of 2025 said he's going to have a day of liberation. He said he loves tariffs and that he's going to have tariffs and we're going to have this day of liberation. And he says specifically, and I'm not going to quote him totally, he says the world is going to come and want to kiss him all over.
Oh, my God.
Well, that didn't happen. There's no kisses. There are no deals that have been done. He tried to do these little props that have not worked on trade agreements. No one's going to humiliate themselves. People rather have their dignity as opposed to pick up some dollars and say they're doing business with him. And as a consequence, he's isolated us. Americans are 4.5% of the world's population, and our economy is 18% of the world's population. It's not 1947 when we were manufacturing 75% of all the good stuff in the world. Now he made 95.5% of the world trade amongst themselves with fewer tariffs.
Yeah.
He made 82% of the world begin to world's economy trade with itself, and that's what's happening. I'm on foreign affairs, and I've taken several trips to Africa. When I travel through Africa now, young Africans are speaking their native tongue, they're speaking English as a secondary language, and they're also speaking Mandarin. The Chinese have been giving those young students scholarships and have been educating them in sciences and engineering, math and agriculture, and so many other things. We've got tariffs and trade restrictions on so many African countries, at least 14. Now, if you're coming from Zimbabwe, a critical mineral country, there are no visas permitted from Zimbabwe to come to the United States now. If you're in the Zambia that has a huge deposit of copper, you have to pay $5,000, $10,000, or $15,000 to get a visa. Now, if your plane ticket just a visa to come to the United States of America, he's turning countries away from us. He's not helping us. And our farmers, he has closed off the Chinese market. Because of the tariffs, it's $650, I think, closer for a metric ton to go to China from Los Angeles, from California onto China. It's $525, $550 coming out of Brazil. Brazil is further, but it's cheaper to get the goods from Brazil.
Yeah.
I mean,
I saw that
they
too.
did not boycott us. Yeah, he locked our farmers out. And then he's going to try to tell farmers, just suffer, be with me. It's the inner city. This guy is stoking prejudice and fueling racial animosity. We've got to get out there and tell people the truth. Just stop it, Donald J.
I don't know how to ask you this. What words of encouragement can you give us as our city is about to, it seems, have the National Guard from Texas descend upon our city? We have ICE agents who are fully armed, who are attacking protesters and who are kidnapping people while fully masked. How would you?
What positive words can you give us?
And everything else you just mentioned about our economy and our role in the world and what's happening to farmers. What would you like to share with our audience for encouragement?
I am so proud to be a Chicagoan. The mayor has stood up and said we can deal with people with decency and humanity. We don't have to meet brutality and bestiality with hostility. We can still be civil. And I've seen that across the board in Chicago, all the way to the guy jumping on his bicycle.
I'm so proud of Chicago right now.
Which was a precious clip.
That was funny.
And Chicago is, I would say, use the word resistance, not the word fight. You can't meet fire with fire. That's all ashes. No, we can be civil, be dignified. We've seen this before in history. What I saw on 75th and South Shore is I saw a veteran that came out to talk to me, and he says that it felt like Desert Storm on what happened the other night, and this event that triggered the PTSD. Then in him, and 2 days later, he could finally talk. But what I saw in that older gentleman, it was so beautiful. He says, these people, Venezuelans and others that came here, he says there's good and bad in everybody, in every race and every culture. He says blacks and Hispanics in Venezuela, we were living together over here in peace. There wasn't any problem. We didn't need the military intervention and these saying boom, bomb. He says we're not going to turn on each other. We're not going to fight each other. No. We know where this is coming from. So his words were very much encouraging. And so it's a city of big shoulders that has wide open arms. Of course, we have to deal with people that may be here unlawfully, but no, it's the Democrats aren't asking for Cadillac insurance for people that are here undocumented. They cannot receive the Medicaid. That's a 1996 law.
Yes.
It's called PWPOR. It's the Principal and Work and Opportunity Act. You can't do it. So to say that we're pushing health care, and now we're trying to fight to make sure, if you will, we're trying to resist and restore these cuts that they've made to the healthcare system. 50% of the people in these nursing and senior facility homes rely upon Medicaid.
Yep.
If we don't fix it, you're going to be seeing your family members come back home because we don't have ample enough care for them. 40% of all the children born in the United States of America, they're birthed by God, but they come through the hospital through Medicaid. I mean, we are trying to stop this train wreck from what he's already cut and tried to pass out. And he refuses to meet with the Democrats.
Yep. Oh, sir, I really appreciate your time and reaching out and joining our show again. We've been talking to Congressman Jonathan Jackson of the Congressional 1st District. Thank you. I slowed down. I was speaking too quickly earlier. Where would you like folks to find you on social media, sir?
Thank you so much. You can do @Rep Jackson for Facebook. You can do @Rep_Jackson for X. And you can do @JonathanJackson.house.gov for the Twitter.
If you ever have time and you find yourself on the northwest side of Chicago, we would love to welcome you in studio as well, sir. I know that you've got a lot going on.
Here I come.
All right, let's do it. All right, let's do it, sir.
Well, listen here. They have us. They locked us out of our offices essentially in
Set up
DC.
here.
So we do have some time. I'll take you up on it.
All right, let's do it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Take care of yourself. Stay hydrated.
I enjoy your show.
Thank you.
You're the
Appreciate
best.
that. Take care. Bye. Let's take a break here. Continue our conversation when we come back. Alicia Molina in studio. And thank you, KKNW and WCPT.
WCPT Replay.
Welcome to the show. Kristen Kroll, Executive Director of Fair Share America.
As organizers, it's our job to create space to allow folks who may not have, view the world the same way we do, but to be in relationship and to actually look at them as human beings and say, it's okay, that is over. What matters is today. Mm-hmm. But I feel like we are on the verge in this country of something very different that rejects a politics that is the most reductive. It is to play to the 50+1. How are we going to win this election by one vote? We are set up through billions of dollars of advertising in the election cycles to really dislike each other, to distrust each other, and at some levels hate each other. We are better than this. We are better than the politics that we've inherited, and we can fight, and we know it's working.
Keep listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it hard to fight the flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. Illinois and Chicago have filed suit to stop President Trump from sending National Guard troops. He says he doesn't understand.
I listened to the governor and the mayor get up and say how they have it under control. They don't. It's probably worse than almost.
I'm sorry. I must have pressed the wrong button. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can fix this real. What? I'm sorry. I seem to have hit this.
The administration from sending troops to Oregon.
California and Oregon looked for a temporary restraining order after the president sent Guard members from California to Oregon earlier Sunday. Protesters confronted law enforcement officers near the ICE facility on Sunday night. Residents of the city like Patrick Donaldson say they don't need further enforcement.
We got it under control. Take a look.
Another protester, Kate Sumter, agrees.
The thing that's harming us is the escalation tactics that Trump's trying to use to create a narrative that, Portland is this boogeyman that requires further militarization, and we just don't.
Audio courtesy of KPTV. I'm Haya Panjwani.
On the government shutdown, President Trump says he'd be open to striking a deal on an extension of health care subsidies that Democrats have been pushing for. But House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says
neither Leader Schumer or myself have heard a word from the administration about resolving this issue, making clear to us that the White House wanted to shut the government down, to continue the chaos that they've been inflicting on the American people since day one of this presidency.
French President Emmanuel Macron facing a crisis after another prime minister resigned, the fourth in just over a year. The political turmoil is affecting investor confidence in efforts to address France's deficit. And Israel and Hamas to continue indirect talks tomorrow in Egypt on President Trump's plan for ending the war in Gaza. This is AP News. Take a look at the sky tonight. It's the first supermoon of the year.
It happens when a full moon is closer to the Earth in its orbit. That makes the moon look up to 14% bigger and 30% brighter than the faintest moon of the year, according to NASA. Derek Pitts is chief astronomer at the Franklin Institute.
Everyone will be able to experience this supermoon event, as long as the sky is clear.
He says the term supermoon actually emerged in the late 70s.
As it turns out, our culture these days really loves superlatives. So the superlative of super attached to this event that happens almost all the time.
Or at least 2 more times this year. The closest supermoon is slated for November, followed by another in December. I'm Julie Walker.
There are more stories at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
This is 8:20 a.m. WCPT Willow Springs and streaming worldwide at WCPT820.com. We are Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter. Now your WCPT 820 weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Scattered showers and storms developing tonight with a low temperature around 61 degrees and northwest winds at 5 to 15. Tuesday, showers and thunderstorms with a high of 65 and winds out of the northeast at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Wednesday, lots of sunshine and a high of 62. Thursday, sunny, highs again in the low 60s. Friday, sunny with high temperatures in the upper 60s. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 79.
Greece is cheap,
but the airfare costs a fortune.
Paris?
Not much closer, and again, airfare...
What about Puerto Vallarta?
Let's face it, flying anywhere is just too expensive.
Wait, what's this? Low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. Where would you like to go? London, Rome, Costa Rica, Australia?
Wow, that's cheap.
So why wait? Call now to learn how crazy cheap it is to fly anywhere in the U.S. or international. Our prices are so low, we can't publish them. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-708-3091. 800-708-3091. 800-708-3091. That's 800-708-3091.
Because facts matter. You're listening to WCPT 820.
Driving it home with Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez. From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, the folks refusing to wear masks says, and politicians getting caught grabbing ass says, she's driving it home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining me and comedian Alicia Molina. We were just talking about Dwayne Kennedy off the air, and I can't believe we've never met Dwayne. He comes in and guest co-hosts too, so I can have you. We get a panel.
Yeah,
you gotta meet Dwayne. Dwayne has been doing comedy a little bit longer than I have.
Okay.
Were you a fan of Seinfeld?
Yes,
the show?
of course.
So the episode with the Dango ate your baby. Dwayne's in that episode, at the chip table. He's a young black man with a sort of like a little fro, but now he's got like long dreads. But he's been out, he was on Letterman. He's been on Conan. He's been on all the late night shows. He was the writer producer for United Shades of America on CNN with Kamau Bell, and Totally Biased on FX. But he's kind of he's been a behind the scenes guy. But there is actually a podcast talking about him. Like where's all these top
really?
comics were
that's
because he's kind of
awesome.
legendary. And I said it to him because they're like, where is Dwayne? I don't think he wants to be found. I'm like, I know where he is. Yes.
You're like, I know where he is.
You'll love him.
I can't tell you where he is, but I know where he is.
I know where he is. He's brilliant. That's Alicia Molina, comedian, who's going to be at the Comedyplex this Friday and Saturday. And folks can get tickets by going to comedyplex.com.
Yes.
It's in Oak Park. It's a fantastic club. It's like a really nice basement party. Does that sound? It doesn't sound fancy, but it is.
It's nice, though. I love it. I love the space. And I am opening for Vladimir Camaño, so you won't see my name there, but I will be there. And
She's
all
the
3
opening
shows.
act.
Yes.
That's very cool. So Comedyplex, comedyplex.com, and that is located in downtown Oak Park at 1128 Lake Street. It's in the lower level.
Spot.
And they have an elevator, so it is accessible for everybody. So get your tickets by going to comedyplex.com. We want to thank our sponsors, Source Solar. Go to source.solar, make an appointment with our good friends Peter Sorellis and Warren Price, and get an evaluation of your home or business and see if it's time to get solar panels on your house or business. And right now, there are incentives that will expire at the end of the year, but Peter walked us through the process of making sure you still are able to benefit from having solar panels on your house and not have the prices go up despite all the circumstances. We also want to thank our friends at Pride Coffee Roasters. Go to pridecoffeeroasters.com. Coming up this weekend, is that right? This weekend, what's the date this weekend? I'm looking up and Alicia's like,
10th
what are you
and
looking
11th. I know.
10th and 11th. I don't know if the market is this weekend. I can't remember now. I feel like it is this weekend. The Jefferson Park Sunday Market. I'm a volunteer there.
Oh, okay.
So it's every second and fourth Sunday of the month. And the Pride go to pridecoffeeroasters.com. They have their entire schedule there of where they'll be. Pridecoffeeroasters.com. Single origin beans roasted by our incredible friends at Pride Coffee Roasters. So go, and you also get 10% off your discount off your order if you type in Drive Home 10. And we want to thank our friends at Minocqua Brewing Company. Right now, my column is up on Substack as well as their newsletter, so you got to subscribe to the newsletter from MinocquaBrewingCompany.com. Follow him on Facebook and go join him up at the Madison Tap Room. We got to go to Madison.
I'm ready.
Do you like beer?
I love beer.
I will send you home. I think I have some beer to send you home with.
In my comedies, I tell you I love to drink.
I'm just, but it might not be beer though. It could be
I
other
drink
cocktails.
anything.
All right then.
I'll drink my Lord.
I will too.
Yeah, there you go.
So I don't know if I should say this out loud. I went for a physical on Friday. So I'm 54 and I was a little bit nervous.
You're young and beautiful.
Oh, thank you very much. So are you.
Oh, thanks.
Of course. So I was a little. Have you ever gone to the doctor and been like, is this going to be where they tell me to stop eating this and stop drinking that?
Yes.
So I was walking with my husband laughing because my doctor called and he goes, everything looks good. He's like, you got like 1 point above on your sugar and you know your liver function is solid, but maybe you could eat less fatty food. And I was like, sounds like I'm still drinking wine and whiskey,
right.
baby.
You didn't say alcohol. You didn't say.
Oh my god.
So we're good.
Seems like I don't think that should be the takeaway. Okay, before we get to our calls, I haven't. I wanted to do this material on stage, but I haven't worked it out yet. Have you ever had that where you just need to tell somebody that something happened?
Yes.
So
I do it all the time.
Right. So the doctor's visit was one thing, but I was out with a friend of mine who, for whatever reason, decided to tell the bartender that I was a stand-up comic, and I was like, oh god, because usually people say, "Tell me a joke."
Yeah, tell me.
Do you
a
know
joke.
what this guy said?
What?
He goes, you're almost attractive.
Oh no!
But can I tell you, like, I wasn't offended. I was like,
That's
that
hilarious.
It's his perspective, right? Like,
Yeah.
like I'm in the mirror, I feel good about myself.
But that's hilarious.
But I mean, it's kind of accurate. Like, I'm almost, I'm not gorgeous. I'm not
Yes,
a
you
model.
are.
You're very sweet. But I wasn't hurt, but almost attractive. At 54, I'll
That's
take
so
almost
funny.
attractive.
Right, at that point.
It's going to be the name of my special, by the way.
I know, right? Almost attractive. That's a great title.
Almost
That
attractive.
is great. Oh man, I absolutely love it.
Yeah, and I was just like,
I'm gonna
but
remind
why?
you.
I was like, why? Why? She's a comedian, and just like you can see him like size me up, and I don't know why the reaction was like almost giving me more comedy. I was like, okay,
I know, thanks.
that
Bring
works.
it.
Yeah, bring it. Okay, I was
Men
gonna do
can
it this
say
week.
the funniest things.
Oh
let me
my
tell you.
God, Almost Attractive. That's going to be the name of the show now, Paul. This show's going to be Almost Attractive with Patti Vasquez. Hey, how you doing, David Hoffman Estates? What's on your mind?
Hey, Patty. Hey, Alicia.
Hello.
Yeah, when you're talking about the going to the doctors and that,
Yeah.
on the male side, I can tell you, I don't care how big and how bad the dudes are. When the doctor has you drop trow and then bend over and you hear that rubber glove snap.
Yeah, you're not really gonna make us. You're not gonna win any sympathy points because I found out that I wasn't supposed to have a Pap smear when I was 16 years old.
I know you told me the other day.
That was crazy. Anyway, every year I had a Pap smear until about 10 years ago when they said it was every other year.
Yeah.
But I was dude. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. Put my feet in the stirrups. I'm bringing spurs next time.
I think that the gloves and the hands would have been easier on us. But we do sympathize with you.
They put a shoehorn in us, my friend. What's that clicking? And then they open it up.
Yeah, right. And back then it used to be metal.
I know.
It
was. It was metal when I was 16 in 1987.
I was like, are you sure that's clean?
Is that cast iron? What is that?
Because nobody washes cast iron, so I just want to know, does that come over on this side?
Have you seasoned that? Sorry, Dave. What would you want to say?
No, he's like, never mind. Poor Dave. Poor Dave.
On the serious note now, though, what I heard that Ghislaine Maxwell's appeal got denied. So what's the next thing left is Trump. He'll pardon her now. You watch. And then, as I said a long time back, that she's going to, Trump will do, I mentioned one time before that they'll have an unmarked plane, probably black preferably, and no markings, obviously, and then with no manifest, and they'll leave in the dark of night or dark 30, and they might even, or better yet, he'll be bringing them to some country that has no extradition with us, like Saudi Arabia. He's pretty tight with Saudi Arabia or Kuwait or Qatar.
That's so weird.
So that she doesn't
none of them
talk.
have extradition treaties with us, so.
Yeah, because it's true. Because if she were to go to Europe, she goes to anywhere in Europe, she could pretty much talk, and maybe he's going to find a way to make sure she doesn't talk ever again.
Yeah, and could maybe take her to some island, like that one poor girl did that about 10 years ago. That it's kind of a little bit north of South America out there. I'm drawing a blank anyway. They didn't ever find her that time, and it was that Doran or whatever, that one Dutch guy figured that he had murdered her, and they never found her. But
I'm just looking this up. I was trying to remember what year she was convicted. So all these things about like why didn't Biden release the files, right? And they're like all this stuff. So let me ask for MAGA who are listening, if Biden was weaponizing the Department of Justice or the legal system, why didn't they force her to say or to link to Trump, like to provide evidence? Because it was 2022. It was under President Biden.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
Yeah. I don't know.
They always got to have a scapegoat, Speaking of President Biden, I heard on Hartman's show earlier today, he said something that he's got stage 4 prostate now, cancer.
Oh no!
That's what he said. That's what Hartman said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's what he said. And I know last week or something, he said there was this one guy that claimed he was gonna out the Speaker Johnson if he didn't.
Yes, on Grindr.
What happened to that?
I don't know.
Hey, that's kind
somebody shut him up.
Yeah.
Maybe paid him.
Yeah.
I don't see any breaking news. I don't see any.
Yeah,
where did Tom Hartman find out more information? Because there's nothing being reported that it's beyond the skin cancer surgery from September 4th.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't pay
did
attention
Tom
to where
say
he
it,
said
or
he
did
heard
someone
it.
on Tom's show? Because Tom had like a bunch of MAGA callers today.
Oh.
No, Tom himself said it because he talked about it and he just said.
Well, maybe he saw it on AI. Anyway, let me.
And then, hey, Patty, so you can get the other real quick. But on the better side, I seen where that Virginia Giuffre's book, Anybody's Girl, is going to go on sale on October 20th. And how long do you think it'll be on the racks before it's on number 1 in the New York Times seller? 2 days, 3 days, maybe?
Virginia, she is one of these survivors.
The one that killed herself.
Yeah, she was one of the, and then a woman.
Sisters.
Yeah, Nobody's Girl, a memoir of surviving abuse and fighting.
Oh.
Yeah, they said it's coming out in about 2 weeks, so I'll bet that thing goes up like hotcakes. They'll be doing second Prince and I. Anyway.
Take care.
All right, you guys be well.
Thank you.
You too.
Poor Dave thought he was going to do a proctology
That was so
joke.
funny.
We
didn't allow it.
We don't do that. Because some guys have that date circled on their calendar. Let me take a break here. We're in studio with Alicia Molina. She'll be performing at the Comedy Plex this Friday and Saturday. I will be at the, I think I'm like at a, let me find out, like a lodge in Delavan, Wisconsin on Saturday.
Oh, Wisconsin.
More after this on WCPT 820, KKNW 1150. And hi to our friends in Minneapolis, St. Paul on KTNF AM 950.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
For years, we've been talking about the health benefits of drinking coffee. We may as well keep that up because a new study out of the University of Toronto found that women who drank 1 to 3 cups of caffeinated coffee per day in their 50s were more likely to reach older age free from chronic major diseases with good cognitive, physical, and mental health. You're going to ask, what about men? Well, I should note that this research relied on data from the nearly 50,000 women who were part of the Nurses' Health Study. Previous studies have shown that coffee is good for guys as well, though. Now remember, coffee can lose its health benefits quickly if you load up your cup with too much cream, sugar, or other sweeteners. If you don't drink coffee, I'm not suggesting you start just for health. But if you do, maybe this news will help you enjoy it a little bit more. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Constipation with belly pain that keeps coming back and back and back. If your symptoms keep coming back, talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C. Linzess could help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Hey Google, play WCPT.
Streaming Chicago's progressive talk from TuneIn.
Hi, this is Patti Vasquez. We appreciate all our fans of Driving It Home, and your support of show sponsor Minocqua Brewing Company ensures that our important conversations continue right here on WCPT each weekday from 5 to 7 p.m. You can now find the Resistance IPA, Labor Lager, or the Resistance Pilsner beer at several Illinois locations, including Arminetti Wine and Spirits in Woodstock, Pineapple and Company in North Riverside, Lions Beverage Depot in Arlington Heights, and MP's Liquor, Wine and Beer in North Aurora. For a full list of Chicagoland locations, please visit MinocquaBrewingCompany.com. As always, please vote and drink responsibly.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining me and Alicia Molina. She's guest co-hosting with me today. She'll be appearing at the Comedy Plex this Friday and Saturday. She's opening for
Vladimir Camaño. He's a Dominican.
He sounds Russian and Dominican.
I know,
Vladimir?
that's what they're saying. That's not like a common Latino name.
Vlad. Hey, Vlad.
Vlad.
Maybe
I haven't met him in person yet, but I'm excited to. And I'm like, how do you want me to call you, Vladdy?
Do you speak Spanish fluently?
I do.
So Roosevelt's joining us. So we've been talking in the last week or so about figuring out an hour of a show with all Spanish speakers.
That would be
I don't know if it's
great.
part of my show. And we've had listeners say they would listen to Spanish because we obviously can't do subtitles on the radio.
Yeah. I'm fluent. But I am Puerto Rican and Peruvian, so my dialects flip.
So and then Jaime de Leon.
Yes.
And maybe Gwen.
Yes.
And Soli said she would try to keep up. She's been learning Spanish. She's
Yes.
Puerto Rican Spanish.
Yes.
So at any rate. So Roosevelt, I'm trying to put the team together. How are you doing, Roosevelt?
Hello, ladies. How you doing today? Thank you for taking my call.
Hi, Roosevelt.
Hey.
How you doing, Alicia? Alicia, right?
Alicia, yes. I'm fantastic. Thank you for asking.
All right, ladies. I just sent you, Patty, a couple of things that are floating around in the Spanish-speaking. That, and there's something else I want to talk about briefly.
So YouTube has dropped Univision. They did not come up with a contract. They've dropped the Spanish language networks Tuesday. So that was last week this just happened, right? So Republicans are mad because they're saying Google is abusing its market power to force viewers to pay extra for Univision's Spanish language programming because that's where they've been grooming them.
Yeah.
They've been using propaganda. Roosevelt calls and tells us about it. I don't know how you survive all of that, but go ahead, Roosevelt. Sorry.
Yeah, well, here's the question I have for both of you. How much do you know about the ownership of Univision and the relationship of Trump with Univision? Let's not forget that they gave him an interview, which was a softball.
I remember that.
I knew you would.
Yes,
so,
I know.
So hear me out. This is for you, Alicia. Do you agree that the ownership is no different than, let's just say, I don't know, the guy with the cars, with the Tesla cars, Elon Musk?
Elon?
Yeah, what I'm getting it as they lean towards Trump. They cater to Trump. Ownership, if I'm not mistaken, they're from South America. Am I right about that?
I thought it was Central America. Really, South? I don't know.
Maybe you're right. The point I'm getting at is, did you see Patty, you mentioned that part, but you didn't mention what Trump put on the internet, which is he's asking Google to bring back the YouTube on Univision. So he's looking like a hero to the Latin American community because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Spanish-speaking people are the ones that's their number one source.
Well, fortunately, outlets like Deadline, which is basically an entertainment magazine out of Hollywood, says Trump tells Google and YouTube TV to restore Univision access because it's very bad for Republicans to have it off. I mean, that's the headline.
Oh my gosh.
Which he's right. I mean, that's how that was what I was talking about. There's a comedian from out of state who's MAGA Latina who I know that it's been huge in Texas. They bought up a lot of radio stations, Spanish speaking radio stations, to get that out there, and it has benefited them.
Yeah, and also I want to touch upon what I'm getting at also is the fact that I just watched the news. That's where I got some of that information. This 5 o'clock news local. On Channel 66, Univision, back again. But they also mentioned the fact that there's volunteers. This is a good news example. And there's volunteers, young people, women and men, delivering groceries at the door for people that are afraid of coming out and getting...
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh.
Yeah, and also, one more thing in closing. They also mentioned the fact that our mayor just signed an executive order with no ICE policy in parking lots. And I think I got the story straight, meaning that voluntarily, if you're a business, you're going to have a sign, a free sign in your parking lot where there's no ICE allowed. So people can go to these stores because they're losing business.
Yeah.
They're losing business because people are not going to get their groceries. And what do you think about that order, Patty?
I think that's great. I mean, I was at a Jewel on the north side. I know that they had hit Albany Park, and I putting it together. I saw SUVs like staging in a parking lot. I know that there've been they were staging at the Humboldt Cultural Arts Center like a couple months ago.
They were, but is it enforceable, this executive order?
That's the thing about any of those.
Because I don't think they're even following anything right now. They're breaking every law already.
Yeah.
So that was basically what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I appreciate the effort. I just hope that it's in action. Thank you, Roosevelt. Always good to hear from you, my friend.
Thanks, Roosevelt. Nice talking to you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye. I've got, let's see. Oh, Paul in Seattle. Hey, Paul, what's on your mind? You're on with me and Alicia Molina. What's going on?
Hi, Paul.
Yeah, Patty. Well, you were talking today about this idea. I mean, and Republicans said, well, why didn't Biden release the Epstein files? Look,
No. That's their argument. That's their argument. My question to them, because they're all about conspiracies and why didn't Democrats do that? They weaponize the legal system. Then if they were in office when she was being prosecuted and convicted, then they could have also traded for tell us what Trump is on the. You know what I'm saying? Their logic doesn't pan out, and maybe I'm not articulating that as well as I would like to. But go ahead, Paul.
Well, the point is that because Democrats don't try to politicize everything to make people look bad. What may be in these files is not anywhere near sufficient to charge anybody. It obviously isn't, because if there were Democrats in here that would be charged based on what's in these files, Pam Bondi would be charging them, wouldn't she?
Exactly.
Yes.
So all it really amounts to, and it must be, Donald Trump got caught in his own boomerang. Is that he wants to make people look bad, but it turns out we think that the one who's going to look the worst is him. And he doesn't want to do that. But you can't just – it's kind of like when he said, well, he wanted the grand jury files released on the Ghislaine Maxwell. It's like – or the Jeffrey Epstein case. It's like, no. That's not what anybody does. No judge was, and they had to know that no judge was going to do that.
Right.
And so, and basically, they ask for something that they know they're not going to get. They see it's because it's all Democrat. This is just the crap that they do. And so I really actually wouldn't hold my breath about if we ever see this. First of all, as to whether we're going to see all of it, or even if we do, how bad it really is, because. If it were that bad, if it were chargeable, it may just be plain embarrassing for Trump. But if it were, it's not sufficient, obviously, to charge anyone, because no one has been charged.
Right. That's a good point. That's a very, very good point. And the thing is, when people are like, "Oh, why do you care about the Epstein files now?" Aren't we supposed? Our president told us
that was his
that he was going to release them. Yeah, he had a whole team of people with the.
We lost Kamala because
Trump
of that.
Trump made it.
Yeah,
Trump's
exactly.
the one who decided that it was important for us to see. He's the one, and he can't even stick by it. And so
he's distracting everybody now, thinking we're going to forget about it. But this is like the one time this is actually sticking, and I really appreciate that. People are like, well, what about the Epstein files? And I love the different names that they're making up and the little memes that I'm seeing. It's hilarious.
We've got some entertainment somehow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate your conversation with us.
For sure.
Take care. Let's take a break here. We're in studio with comedian Alicia Molina. She's appearing with Vladimir Camaño. Is that right? Camaño. Yeah. I don't see an Enye on there on his Instagram. He didn't put an Enye.
Oh, maybe it's not.
Oh, no, you're right. It's online. It's a Camaño. Yeah. Vladimir Camaño. This weekend at the Comedyplex. Alicia will be there Friday and Saturday. So go to comedyplex.com for your tickets. And coming up in just a moment, we're going to talk to Joyce Mahoney, Regional Vice President of Memory Care and Programming at Belmont Village Senior Living. After this on WCPT 820, KKNW 1150, and KTNF AM 950.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Scattered showers and storms developing tonight with a low temperature around 61 degrees and northwest winds at 5 to 15. Tuesday, showers and thunderstorms with a high of 65 and winds out of the northeast at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Wednesday, lots of sunshine and a high of 62. Thursday, sunny, highs again in the low 60s. Friday, sunny with high temperatures in the upper 60s. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 75.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
This is a WCPT moment in labor. In the 1830s in Lowell, Massachusetts, during the rise of the textile industry, factories were hiring large groups of women ranging in ages 18 to 35 to work at their mills. The workdays were 13 hours long and had poor working conditions. By 1834, the textile market was sluggish. In response, the workers' wages were reduced by 12.5%. One of the workers, Julia Wilson, tried to organize the women to get their wages back, only to be terminated abruptly. Wilson signaled the women to strike or turn out. Over 800 women marched and signed a petition saying we will not go back into the mills to work unless our wages are continued. Ultimately, this strike failed, but they learned from their mistake and successfully battled back a rent increase on their boarding houses 2 years later. By January 1845, about a dozen of the Lowell female textile workers came together to form the Lowell Female Labor Reform Association. This would become the first organized union of women workers in American history. This has been a WCPT Moment in Labor. We're working for your rights.
As a veteran, you get a lot of advice, but wisdom's harder to come by. A lot of people imagine themselves in our shoes without understanding the weight on our shoulders. The truth is, few can understand the pressure of finding your own way after serving in the military. But few isn't none. Steady yourself. You're not alone. You've got support. Learn more at maketheconnection.net.
WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or Pete.
Welcome back to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us as we drive it home. I'm your host, Patti Vasquez. Joining me in studio is guest co-host Alicia Molina. And on the line with us is Joyce Mahoney, Regional Vice President of Memory Care and Programming at Belmont Village Senior Living. Hi, how are you doing, Joyce? It's good to talk to you again.
Hi, Patty. It's great to be here. I'm doing well, thank you.
I whenever we have these conversations, I learn a lot. I have friends who, struggle with a lot of us are taking care of young ones and our parents, and we're sort of in the middle. And I think knowing about resources like Belmont Village Senior Living is really helpful. What can you tell folks who maybe have a parent that isn't interested in seeking out services and memory care? They're like, because my dad, when my dad was around, he was very stubborn. I'm fine. I don't need that. You know what I mean? How do we gently coax them into learning more?
Yeah, it's hard to convince sometimes our parents or someone who's older that they need some greater assistance other than what they're getting at home. And I think some of the fear is that they're going to lose their independence, their autonomy. And actually, it's just the opposite. Moving into senior living, such as Belmont or other places, want to promote your independence, and they encourage you to be on your own and independent as much as you possibly can, and to ensure your abilities and your capabilities. So, but it is hard sometimes to convince your loved ones. So sometimes when you're living at home, identify pretty much what can they still do, what can they do well, and just identify where they might need a little extra support. But the important piece is that they still feel whole, they still feel capable. That's the big pushback. And I had the same thing with my dad, same thing. No, I don't need any help. I can do it on my own. But clearly, from our perspective, we can see that he did need some assistance, but they still need to feel capable. And I think that's where we need to drive that point home, first and foremost.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Alicia.
No, I was going to say, so how does this set up? Do they get a social gathering group? I mean, something that kind of excites them so they can feel like they're young still, basically, because that's the issue with Latino parents. They don't want to feel old, one.
Yeah.
And two, they think that they need to stay with us. And I already told my parents, I'm not keeping you guys. But I just want to make sure, for many other people that have to deal with elderly parents, what makes them still feel like the vibrant side of being old, like community or whatever the case, so that they're busy and happy, but they get the help they need, you know?
Right. I mean, we all need to feel vibrant and vital and useful. I mean, and that's at every decade of life, whether you're in your 20s or whether you're in your 90s, right?
Yeah.
And to really try to identify what works well, what interests that person, and really hone in on that, you know. So if you have, say if you were an artist, you love to paint, or maybe you did pottery, maybe continuing to do some of those things. And it's important to stay social, engaged, interacting with other people. That is one of the big keys, really to stay younger mentally, but really to stay as active as you possibly can, and whatever that might look like. And that's going to vary really greatly from individual to individual, because your interests are going to vary from my interests and vice versa, right? Mm-hmm. So really trying to identify what that looks like for the person. But like, say if it's any of our parents, okay, sit down and talk with them, but let them be part of making that decision instead of us making the decision for them. And I think I see that is the big mistake that a lot of people might make, is that I've got to come in and I got to fix everything and I got to help my parents, and our intentions are really, really good. But again, let them be part of the process in that decision making. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Where do I sign? Can I join?
Have you seen the series? I don't know if we talked about this previously when I've had you on, but there's a series on Netflix called A Man on the Inside with Ted Danson. And so it's kind of a mystery series. And
I started watching that.
It's super sweet. And I know it's a fictionalized version of living in a senior village, but the one element that I did really appreciate, in addition to like the socializing and you still feeling vibrant and, and flirting and all the different things. One thing was the memory ward. Like they all kind of like, it was sort of like this scary, I thought they dealt with it so beautifully with having, some of the characters that were dealing with that or had dealt with loss of a family member, because there is obviously that's a big fear for folks, isn't it? That's one of the especially because it's so prominent. We're talking about it, which is good. And at the same time, it causes some anxiety, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. Unfortunately, there's a lot of fear that centers around that. And unfortunately, there's a lot of stigma that goes with that. And we need to really dispel the stigma and really kind of shift our thinking into these are persons who have a cognitive disorder, cognitive impairment, and they need our help. They need our compassion and our warmth and our support. And, if we get over our own anxiety and our own fears over it, it's going to make it much easier. But I think the fear is that we all want to age gracefully, live well, and not have to deal with any of these impairments, but unfortunately it does happen. And so kind of preparing ourselves on how we're going to age, what does that look like? But I know in a lot of community settings, including ours at Belmont Village, we actually have a lot of our assisted living residents volunteer in our memory care area called our neighborhood.
That's nice.
And right, because it's like, behind those doors or in that other end of the building, that's where the memory care is, hence the stigma. And so we actually developed a volunteer group of residents that will actually come in and support those residents. So now they get a sense of fulfillment by giving back and helping, but they can actually see and be part of that life and that support system that they need. So it helps dispel some of that fear and that nervousness about, what if that happens to me? What is that going to look like? So kind of stepping into their world a little bit just kind of helps navigate that path a little bit better.
Do you have advice for caregivers? Because I have a friend who's going through this, and she's part of what's getting her through it is her sense of humor, and she has some experience with in the medical profession. But I think that it's also people feel isolated when caregiving can be
takes a toll on a lot of people.
Exactly,
because it's your whole day.
Yeah,
if you're not working, you're taking care of someone.
Yeah. Do you have some advice for folks who are going through that?
Yeah. Absolutely. Especially if it's, whether it's an outside caregiver that's coming in to help your family member, or whether it's in a community living setting, or in many cases, it's the family members who are doing that. And you said earlier that, hey, we've got ourselves to take care of. We have children. We have, the rest of the family, and then maybe even our careers that we're still managing. And so to care for someone who's aging, but also someone who may be frail and have other issues happening, it's very important to start taking care of ourselves, because the caregiving life can be a little isolating when you're caring for one individual or even a couple individuals all day long or multiple days during the week. So people have the tendency to think that, oh, I can't care for myself. I don't have time. My focus has to be on other people, the ones who need the care. And yes, that is true, but to the contrary, you can't take care of someone else if you don't take care of yourself. So you've got to make yourself a priority.
Wholeheartedly.
I
agree.
Yeah,
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Such great advice.
Yeah.
Even for mothers.
You got to make time for yourself. Go out and socialize. Have self-care days. Pamper yourself a little bit, and then you're ready to jump right back in again and do your best. Mm-hmm.
So, folks, you can go to BelmontVillage.com. We really appreciate your time. We've been talking to Joyce Mahoney, and it's BelmontVillage.com. Joyce is the Regional Vice President of Memory Care and Programming at Belmont Village Senior Living, and there's a lot of different categories that you can look at if you need more information, including independent living, assisted living, memory care, short stay, some financial planning. So visit the website and learn more. Be prepared.
Got to be prepared.
Yeah, we're so in the space of reactionary, and when things pop up, but be well informed ahead of time if you're looking down, the path. Thank you so much, Joyce. I look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you
so much, Patty. Thank you.
Take care. Thank you. Let's take a break here, and we've got some phone calls on the line, a couple texts to get to in just a moment on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150, and KTNF AM 950. We also want to thank Alicia Molina for joining us in studio. She'll be opening for Vladimir Camaño at Comedy Plex. He was on Superstore, you guys. Yeah. He was fantastic. I love him on Superstore. And
he was also on Brooklyn 99, and I love Brooklyn 99.
Yes, me too. Oh, my God, so funny. Let's take a break here and continue our conversation. Your phone calls as well, 773-763-9278. That's the Credo Mobile phone and text line. Better for the planet and for people, credomobile.com. And for a limited time, you've got 25% off your contract. That's WCPT 25. WCPT 25.
Tom Hartman.
Autocrats generally, particularly those autocrats who have narcissistic personality disorder and are sociopaths, as is, in my opinion, Trump, typically do not tolerate high-profile people around them. They want to be the star of the show, and that's certainly been the history of Donald Trump. The only people that he will tolerate around him are people who, when he says, kiss my ass, they fall to their knees.
The Tom Hartman Radio Program, weekdays 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on WCPT 820, where facts matter.
This is a WCPT Veteran Minute. After working several odd jobs in New York City, Henry Johnson found his way into the National Guard during World War I. Johnson was assigned to the 369th Infantry Regiment, but the all-black unit was better known as the Harlem Hellfighters. The Hellfighters' first task was assisting the French Fourth Army. On May 15, 1918, Hellfighter Johnson noticed Germans attempting to break in. Johnson retreated to get backup from the French troops, noticing German soldiers were attempting to kidnap another Hellfighter. Despite standing at only 5'4", Johnson sprung into action. With only 3 bullets and a bolo knife, Johnson was able to kill 4 enemy soldiers and wounded 21 others, causing them to retreat, saving himself and his men. However, Johnson received a total of 21 injuries all over his body, including his left foot being shattered. Johnson was discharged, and his papers did not show his heroism or his injury, leaving him unable to receive any disability compensation, leaving Johnson penniless at the time of his death at age 36. Johnson's heroism went unnoticed for decades until President Barack Obama awarded him the Medal of Honor in 2015.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because feeling full can sound like this.
How did the interview go? I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
And like this.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project!
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations!
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/act now. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
This is WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Patti Vasquez is taking your calls now.
All right, let's hit it.
At 873-763-9278.
I got a lot to say.
It's Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue to drive it home. Joining me in studio is comedian Alicia Molina, who is appearing at the Comedyplex this Friday, opening for Vladimir Camaño. And he is, you recognize him from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Superstore, amongst other things. I think he just got another show, too. I think I just saw that. But at any rate, we're taking your phone calls because I want to make sure I don't leave anybody hanging. Gene is calling. Hey, Gene. Gene's calling from Addison, Illinois. What's on your mind, my friend?
Hello, can you hear me?
I sure can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It's you. I love your show, by the way. I've been listening for the longest since you first started, and you were an hour long, and then you went to 2, so that's great.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
She has a lot to say.
I do. I almost need 3.
And I think it's Alicia. I'm not sure of your name, but it sounds pretty. It's a pretty name. I wasn't sure I was saying it right.
Thank you. You did. You said Alicia. I appreciate that. You didn't say the Alicia. People can't say it that way.
But I have a question as mothers. Patty, I know you're a mother.
Yes.
And you talk about your 2 sons. Alicia, I don't know if you're a mother.
I am a mother, yes.
I want to know, mothers seem to be very, very attached to their sons, and they will defend their sons. And my question is, with Donald Trump and Epstein and all of this, there was a woman who was actually the Queen of England who actually got a report and took her son, whose name was Andrew, out of service. He attended his mother's funeral in a regular civilian suit. Now, mothers don't give up their sons, so if there's no Epstein file, why would the Queen of England actually remove her son from service? That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, she removed him in 2022 from military roles. Right. So you're saying that she got information or was named. I don't know if it was in courts or not.
She has a file.
Yep.
She has a file. Russia has a file. The only people who don't have a file is the American people.
Oh, yeah. So the book that's coming out, the No One's Girl, Virginia Giuffre. I apologize. In the wake of her passing, but a district judge refused to dismiss a civil case against Andrew by Virginia. So she had brought a suit against him. She sued, saying she was coerced into sexual encounters with him in 2001 when she was 17 by Epstein and his longtime companion, Ghislaine Maxwell. She said she was sexually abused by Andrew at Maxwell's London home, in the Epstein's mansion and his estate in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Wow! I think
now, do you think, as a mother, you would if you didn't think this was credible, would you remove your son?
Right. No, she didn't stand behind him. I mean, it was enough information for her to say, "We're done." Wow. Well, thank you for reminding us of that. Yeah.
That's a good point. We didn't.
I was amazed, especially when Trump went all the way over to England and had white tie dinners. I'm like, you think these people sitting here at this table don't know this?
This is so gross. The whole thing is so gross. Everything is so. I you know what? Like I have a shirt that says "I miss when knowledge was power," but also having knowledge is exhausting.
Yeah, kind of.
It is. It is. I agree.
It really is.
I don't mean to laugh at this horrifying story.
Thank you so much for taking my call. I just wondered why nobody seems to ever think about that. It's like, of course he has a file. We're waiting for a file. Everybody seems to have a file in the world except for us.
I don't know about that. And I think DHS has a file on us. All right. Thank you so much. That was a great call.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
All right. Take care.
A couple of texts to catch up on as well. Someone mentioned, okay, let's get to this topic because there's several. One person wrote, we need to pay CNAs more and make sure long-term care facilities are better staffed. I saw people neglected and endangered in a nursing home despite well-meaning and hardworking but underpaid staff. And it's only going to get worse because of Medicaid. Keep fighting for more Medicaid. But the thing is that there's 98 senior facilities that are vulnerable to close because of these cuts from Trump.
Yeah. And they're not, and then again, it's not a Democrat, Republican thing. This is everyone. And unfortunately, they're just not seeing it.
I agree.
Well, they're lying to them,
and So thank you, 301. Are you calling from Maryland? Are you texting from Maryland? Thank you. Someone sent some pictures of their No Kings. They're decorating cars ahead of the protest coming up on the 18th. I'll be in Arlington Heights speaking. Okay, this is something. Now, have you heard about the comedy festival in Saudi Arabia?
No.
Okay, so
tell me.
Let me look this up because there are comics' names on this list that I was disappointed by. So these comics are being paid a ton of money to go to Saudi Arabia, where obviously human rights, in particular women's rights, are non-existent. And folks, I mean, and a lot of comics are making jokes about I was not offered $10 billion, whatever. But these comics were offered a ton of money, and it includes like Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle. Let me see where the list. I want to say Whitney Cummings, and I was really surprised. I honestly was surprised by Bill Burr. Would there be? I mean, I don't think there are less gigs that pay less. I mean, but more than what I get, like maybe in a weekend. Yeah. That I'm like, I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean?
But I'm wondering if they're going to use it for a positive. I hope it's used in a positive manner for us.
It's. I don't know. So
I just want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. That's my problem.
Well, when you have Louis C.K. on the list, that's when
okay.
Just like, and Pete Davidson is also performing inside the controversial Riyadh Comedy Festival. There were sex jokes and wife jokes. It's really unusual to see this kind of comedy here in Saudi Arabia. Apparently, they were happy to.
No women, right?
Well, Whitney Cummings performed.
Oh, Whitney Cummings.
Right.
Okay.
So Chappelle and Bill Burr performed. Jimmy Carr, who's from England, Jack Whitehall, Kevin Hart, Russell Peters, some other comics that
a lot. Yeah.
Jessica Curson. Really?
Oh, girl.
All right. But some argued it's more a nuanced picture. While human rights groups have a host of concerns about Saudi Arabia, the country has attempted to transform its image in recent years. With the festival in full swing, we've been speaking to fans and comedians to find out what actually happened on the ground. At any rate, there was a lot of controversy over whether or not you should. The opening act for Bill Burr included a 10-minute segment which was all about sex. So apparently they were not restricted in what they could talk about.
I was wondering how were women attending this event as well.
I don't know. They said the jokes were well received. Chappelle's set was controversial, with a lot of jokes about trans people. Why? He did a. Oh well, okay. I don't know. The idea that he was told, people were like, hey, this is harmful, and he said, well, let me take another swing.
He went to Saudi Arabia though. He didn't
right.
go here, so
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe he thought it was going to be better there.
Yeah, apparently. So the festival already it already happened. More than 50 of the biggest names in American and Western comedy were scheduled to perform. And it was part of, a lot of people say it was in an effort to draw attention away from their human rights violations.
Distractions. That's the way to go for everything, huh?
Well, and a lot of these comics are also the kind that say, well, I'm not, you're trying to cancel me, right? So I'll go to Saudi Arabia. I don't know. Louis and
possibly
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't have any skin in that game.
It's tricky right now, everything.
There's a producer that books a show, and if you're interested, I can get you the information. But there's a producer that books a show, and he calls and taunts me about Trump and how happy he is with stuff and all kind.
I would love to perform that one.
Right. If he reaches out,
I would let him know that I agree with him and everything, and then when I'm on stage.
Yeah. Right? Well, it's for TV.
So even better.
Oops, I didn't say on my script. What? So Alicia will be at the Comedyplex this weekend. And where can folks find out more about your schedule? And follow you on Instagram and TikTok and all the places. She says good morning to everyone, but not you, Maga.
I do. That is my line. And sometimes I'll throw a little thing behind it.
A little oomph.
What was it yesterday or something? Oh, because I have a cricket in my house and I'm really upset about it. And I said, I can't go to my basement because either that or I'm going to have to burn down my house. So I'm like, either I have to let it die or I don't know what. And then I just said, well, everybody else have a great morning. Not you, Micah. I hope you have crickets in your basement too. You know what I mean? Little things like that. So.
I just had a bowl of crickets for the first time.
What? Where?
At this Mexican restaurant in Logan Square, because I knew Logan Square was going to be quiet on Saturday because of all the fear. So I went to eat it. I can't pronounce the name of the restaurant.
Really? How was it?
It was so good.
I can't
I put them on my tamales. It was like,
I can't do it.
It is weird to see their little legs and stuff. That's weird. I was just curious. I'm like, well,
and I'm the type who will eat anything.
But not crickets.
I don't like insects or anything. I know.
But like menudo, you like?
I'll eat menudo all day.
Love menudo.
You see, I mean,
my God,
I'll
tripe?
eat anything.
Oh, yeah.
I do pig's feet. I don't care,
same.
but don't give me an
crickets.
insect.
I didn't ever like the fish where you could see the eye.
I just told you I want to burn down my house because of a cricket. That's
but
alive.
maybe if you could just fry it up, it wouldn't. You could think of it differently.
I'll ask my son if he wants to try it.
No. It's Alicia Molina. She'll be at the Comedyplex this Friday and Saturday. Go to comedyplex.com. We look forward to having her back on the show. Thank you so much to Paul Shavari for keeping the train on the tracks. And thank you to our sponsors, Pride Coffee Roasters, Source Solar, and Monaco Brewing Company. Have a great night, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Good night.
WCPT will be broadcasting a live in-person Union Strong panel on Wednesday, October 15th from 3 to 5 p.m. And you're invited. Join me, Tom Hartman, and